Have you ever noticed how some people get older, but never really grow up? They age, they gain years, but emotionally, they stay stuck. They still blame others. They still avoid responsibility. They still expect life to feel easier than it does. And the strange part is, they're not lazy. They're not unintelligent. They're not broken. They're just stuck. And today, I want to explain why. Because growing up isn't about age, it's about something much quieter and much harder. Growing up starts with one uncomfortable truth. Maturity requires discomfort, and some people spend their entire lives trying to avoid it. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel ready. They wait for confidence to appear first. But adult growth doesn't work that way. Real growth happens when you act before you feel ready, when you show up tired, when you follow through even when it's boring. Childlike thinking says, "I'll do it when I feel like it." Adult thinking says, "I'll do it because it needs to be done." And if someone never learns how to tolerate discomfort, they never really grow up. Another reason people stay immature is this. They confuse freedom with having no responsibility. They believe responsibility is a trap, that structure kills joy, that routines mean life is over. But the opposite is true. The people with the most freedom usually have the most structure. They plan, they prepare, they take responsibility early so they suffer less later. Avoiding responsibility feels freeing at first, but over time it creates chaos, and chaos doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like anxiety. The people who refuse responsibility often feel the most trapped because their life is always reacting instead of directing. Another major reason some people never grow up, they externalize everything. Nothing is ever their fault. It's the boss, the system, their parents, their partner, bad timing, bad luck. And yes, life can be unfair, but growth doesn't happen while you're busy assigning blame. Blame protects the ego, but it prevents change. Because if nothing is your responsibility, then nothing is in your control. And without control, there is no maturity. Here's another one people don't like hearing. Immature people chase relief. Mature people choose progress. Relief is immediate. Scrolling, spending, numbing, avoiding. Progress is slower, quieter, less exciting at first. Relief feels good now. Progress feels good later. And if someone always chooses short-term relief over long-term direction, they stay emotionally young, no matter how old they get. Another reason people don't grow up is subtle but powerful. They never update their identity. They're still living by rules they learned at 18, still reacting emotionally instead of responding intentionally, still letting old patterns run the show. But life changes. Responsibilities change. You change. And if your identity never updates, your life doesn't either. Growing up requires rewriting internal scripts, not once, but continuously. And finally, one of the biggest fears behind immaturity, some people believe growing up means losing themselves. They think maturity means becoming boring, serious, trapped. But real maturity doesn't shrink you, it stabilizes you. It gives you emotional range, self-control, choice. You don't lose joy. You stop depending on chaos to feel alive. Here's the truth most people never hear. Some people never grow up because no one taught them how. Not emotionally, not psychologically, not practically. And if this video felt uncomfortably familiar, that's not shame. That's awareness. And awareness is where growth begins. Because growing up isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finally becoming responsible for who you already are.